having me here. So, I'm going to be pretty honest with you guys. My speech pretty much is going to be something that I feel is a real big issue right now in the world. And I'm going to start out with a couple questions. Who, in their spare time, do you think spends probably an hour a day or more either on Facebook, reading news, or any kind of social media? See, that's the majority of us. The majority of us do that. Now, who's seen the movie Rules of Engagement with Tommy Lee Jones and Samuel L. Jackson? Okay, so let's place a little bit of a setting. What happens? So Samuel L. Jackson is in Yemen, and there's a protesting going on, and he sees shots fired from a crowd below, and they end up wounding, killing Marines in his platoon. So what he does is he returns fire on the crowd, killing some around 88 supposedly innocent civilians, right? So he's going to trial for 88 counts of murder. And pretty much this lawyer he never went to Yemen, he never was there, never seen combat, sat there and he tried to plead a case against this guy. He was giving him all these different things that was going wrong, what he did, what he maybe speculated what he did, just trying to skew the jury in that way. And he was trying to get in their mind and tell them, this is exactly what happened, this is what happened, he did this for sure, all this other stuff. But those weren't the facts. The facts were that the crowd, they had guns, they shot at them. The government the next day came and cleaned up the mess, so when the American investigators came in, there were no guns in the crowd. It just looked like innocent civilians. It made the people look better. But the fact is, 3 Marines were killed that day. 3 people. And he fought for those 3 people's lives by shooting in that crowd, maybe killing 88 people, but he returned fire like he was supposed to. He followed the rules of engagement. The jury had to decide to believe the lawyer who was defending Samuel L. Jackson, to believe him that it was truly off barely any evidence that he was a good man and did this, or listen to a man that has never seen battle, never seen combat, any of this, and listen to him. And that goes to my next point. Is the reason my whole speech is named Deception. It's because, let's set a scene here. You have Facebook right here, right? This is Facebook. This is everything that you can go. Social media, news articles, everything you can want. Over here, you have your research. What you have went out and you've tried to find yourself. And honestly, there's a fine line in between the two. There's a deception line. Where you get certain media groups and certain news that'll they'll twist it just to try to get you on their side. They'll change one little tweak or one little thing that makes the story look totally different. We all remember back during, it's still pretty prevalent now, but you would see videos on Facebook that's like, this man was wrongly accused by a police officer. But what the video doesn't show is the whole entire story. It might tell the whole entire story, but at the same time it might not. So that's where your research comes in. You can't just look at a video on Facebook and be like, oh my God, this is totally right. Like, I have to believe everything, because it's media. Media is twisted. Media causes deception. We cannot sit there and we cannot think immediately when we see a video that it's like, oh my God, this has to be perfect. This has to be right. Because it's the job of a writer to try to skew an audience. Well, I take 5 seconds out of a clip that shows why this person was arrested or something happened to this person. What does it look like? It looks like the cops at fault rather than the person who did it. Therefore, I've skewed an audience to my side, and I've created a mass group against something that I'm preaching about. So that's where you have to have your own research. You have to sit there and you have to think, man, what has this sources, what have they really gone out and done? What have they said? What are the other things they brought out? What are other media sources saying about this incident? How am I trying to avoid the deception of people going out and changing little tiny things here and there that make the biggest difference in the world? I know we've all heard it. We've all seen it on the news. Trump calls it the fake media. And he loves to say it. It's like his go-to phrase whenever something happens in just any kind of media. And I'm not bashing him. I'm not bashing the media at all. But it's almost a pretty true point because of the fact that they may be reporting a story. They could be reporting that story. But you change one little thing in that story, it's totally different. And that's the key fact of being a writer in that situation, is you can see that. And you can see what your agenda is in the position you work for, what you're trying to skew, what you can change to still be an accurate story. You've reached an audience. You've created something. The deception lies within. We have to ourselves go in, do our own research, really think about what we're looking at, instead of immediately jumping to conclusions. I think that's the biggest problem with society right now, is we're jumped to conclusions too easily. We're not going out on our own. We're not going to look for our opinions, our personalities, what we know, what we believe we want to know. Rather, we see something in one place and immediately believe that to be 100% true. The way our world is turning now, how divided we have become, we must figure out a way to fall away from that line, that deception, that simple word that means so much and does so much to a community. If we can slide away from that, learn more, be more open to different ideas, be more ready and observant, and find our own opinion in things rather than listening to one single media or listening to media in general and being a one-sided opinion, we can change the world. We can totally have a different view on things. We can totally shift from this effect of listening to people, but instead going out, finding your own, doing your research, and becoming smarter and being able to deal with better situations. And that's why I believe deception and everything along with it, social media, news, and all that, has become the biggest downfall right now in our society.